Let's talk about the most effective way to launch a new offer. Most of the times, when coaches, speakers, and trainers are launching new offers, they make one fundamental mistake. They have no clue if their audience or their potential clients are going to buy it or not. And so, what they happen is that they spend so much time and money developing this great offer that then is not going to go anywhere or is going to bomb. Or maybe it's going to work, but if it works, it's just because of luck, not because they knew it up front. And so there is a lot of time that is wasted if you decide to launch an offer that actually is not going to work out. So how can you guarantee 100% of the time that before even you create something, you're going to have enough clients that will want to buy it? So it actually makes also financial sense for you to launch that new service, that new offer, or that new product. That's what we're going to talk in this particular episode. Hi, my name is Simone Vincenzi. I'm the co-founder of GTeX, and we turn experts into authorities, and you are listening or watching from to the Expert to Authority podcast, which is the show for coaches, speakers, and trainers who want to grow their businesses while making an impact in the world. And as I mentioned in this episode, we are going to look at the most effective way to launch a new offer. Now, let's look at what the majority of people do. They have an idea and they say, oh my God, I think this could work. So then they put one or two messages on social media and they say, hey, I'm really excited. Stay tuned. Which, by the way, you're the only person excited about it. And it's like no one else really cares. And then you end up maybe do another few, two or three social media posts, maybe send an email about this incredible offer, and maybe you already spent 3 4 months just recording all the videos, putting all the material together, and then very few people buy or no one buys. That's what a lot of the launches actually of new offers look like, unfortunately. Now, not many people say that because they don't want to expose that, oh my God, like this didn't work. And of course, all you're going to hear about is when the launch works. That's what people are going to share, right? Makes sense. So, how can you guarantee that you're going to sell out your offer every single time, even before creating it? And it goes down to a simple strategy called the waiting list strategy. Is nothing revolutionary. If you're here to look to hear something that is going to change your life because it's very complex or it's very new, I'm sorry, it's not. But it works every single time. Large corporations use it, important brand use it, the most successful coaches use it, and it's a great way for you not to waste any time. So how does it work? Well, step one, you're going to create some content around the topic that you're going to that you want to create your offer around your topic of expertise. Now, why do you want to create content around it first? Maybe for like 1 week or two, because then you can see what are the hooks and what people engage the most with. You can then test then the marketing material that you're going to use later. And the fact is that if people are not going to engage even with the free content that you're going to put out there on a specific topic, how are they going to spend money with you? If they don't share, they don't spend any time watching, listening, reading, liking, leaving a comment, they're definitely going to take out their credit cards, right? Because before someone spends money, they will spend time. So let's get people to spend more time with you and get used to the fact that they prepare them on this topic. They're going to create a few posts and a few content around it. That's step number one, which is raising awareness. Then, if you see that there is enough engagement or interaction, then you're moving to step number two. And step number two is creating a waiting list. You're just going to create a simple page with not very just very few information of what the offer that you have in mind is going to be, and tell people that if they are interested to know more and be notified when the offer is going to launch, to register on the waiting list. Why do you want to do that? Because then you can test how many people in your total audience or network are actually interested in that particular offer. Because with all the people that you're connected with, some will be interested and some won't. So now you are qualifying only the people that are interested that express an interest to know more about the offer that you want to launch, which means that immediately you can gauge interest in what then the sale are going to be. Because if you don't have enough people expressing an interest and they want to know more, how are they going to spend some money, right? So, which means that if the waiting list, you don't manage to fill up the waiting list or to get to a number that is acceptable for you, then you maybe don't want to launch that particular offer and you want to use a different marketing strategy. But actually, if you get a good response or few people signed up to the waiting list, is a sign that people are interested. Now, when you're going to do the launch later on, you're not going to launch only on the waiting list, because the signal on the waiting list is a signal that there is an appetite for what you want to offer. And I'll give you an example. We've been working with a client recently to launch a membership site around creativity. And what we did first, we did a waiting list strategy only to the people that he was connected with. So it was only the people that he had in his social media, in his email list, and then one partner, because he's the founder of a coaching company, and one partner then sent an email because he's one of the founders of that coaching company, so it made sense. Still people that were connected to him directly. So we want to see within all this closest connection who are the people that will be willing to buy. And that's the first step. So we actually had about more than 400 people, almost 500 people joining the waiting list using this strategy. It made sense. There is an appetite. So now we can move to the next step. And the next step, that's where we build, for example, the sales page, or we create, if you want to create a webinar, whatever is going to be your next step in terms of sales point, then you can now use this as a launch. So there are a few ways in which you can do it. From the waiting list, you can then launch a webinar only to the waiting list, where you're going to create a presentation around creativity and do a special offer. Well, they're on your topic. In that case was creativity. You can do a presentation, make a special offer, and get people to become what is called a founding member. So that's the step number 3, a founding member strategy, where someone joins in at a very early stage where very little is created, and they have a voice in the creation of what the offer is going to be in the future. And you will find that the majority of the people that will join at this point, they're what we call in sales early adopters. So they're people that they like to be the first to buy things. They don't need to have a lot of social proof. They don't need to see a lot of people that have already bought it before, but they believe in you, they believe in your vision, and that's enough for them to buy. Also, there's profile that they take pride in testing new things. For example, I'm an early adopter. I love to buy things when they're early to market. I love to test things. I love to even use things that are not perfect yet, because I like a good deal up front, and I can willing to take a gamble if it's one I work out or not. So that's why I bought a lot of software in this way. I've got invested in companies, work with clients in this way. That's the potential of the development is what excites me the most compared to getting already the final finished product. And so, in that way, on the waiting list, step number 3 is that now you launch a founding member strategy. You can decide, for example, to have a landing page where people can make a sales page, where people can make the purchase depending on the price point. You can decide to have a webinar, for example, where people can buy directly on the webinar, or maybe they have to apply if it is a higher level offer where there is a much more investment involved, that maybe a phone call is necessary in that case. So that's going to be the third stage. And then after the third stage is done, so in the example of the creativity project that we have been doing, then we created a sales page where people could become a founding member. And then you move to stage 4 at this point, where now is the optimization phase. So first of all, you review and then you optimize. So you review the results that you get, you see what worked and what didn't. You take the marketing part, the marketing messages and the sales messages that you know they work better, and you tweak the one that didn't work with, test with some new material. And then now you're optimizing the sequence. So now you can create an evergreen sequence which means that people will be able to join at any time. Or if you are using a launch model where you're going to open and close the doors at specific times, then it means the next time you're going to run it, you can just press send and press start. And then when you're ready, then the sequence is already there. So you're doing the work once on the pre-launch, you're testing the strategy, but you're only moving to the next step if the previous one is successful. So I'm only going to create a waiting list if I see that there is some conversation or some interest around step one, which is the creation of content. Then I'm only going to create a sales page, which is step three, or a webinar, only if I get enough people on the waiting list. So only if step two is accomplished. And then I'm going to create and deliver the product and optimize the whole part only if I get enough sales, and therefore I can move, which is step three, therefore I can move to step four, which is the delivery and optimization. And if you launch your products in this way, if you launch all your services in this way, trust me, you will always have clients, you will always make sales, and in particular, you will only spend your time and invest your time in the product or services that are a winner. Because some of the ideas that you will have will not work, or they're one that sound good just to you and not to your ideal client. And then the other ones are the one that actually your ideal clients are saying, yes, this is exactly what I need. This was made for me. Now, I'm curious to know in the comments as well, what are your thoughts and how you are going to use it. So let me recap these 4 points. The first stages are: number one is the content creation stage, where you're testing the message. Number two is the waiting list stage, when you are gathering interest of the people that are ready to buy. Number three is the sales stage, when you're then making sales with a webinar or with a sales page. And number four is delivery and optimization. So these are the 4 stages. You follow these 4, you will always have clients and you will not waste any time. So let me know in the comment, what are your thoughts, what have you learned from this, and how you're going to apply this particular strategy. Also, if you have not subscribed to my podcast and the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe straight away, and also check the resources below to help you grow your coaching and speaking business, like our webinar conversion kit, which you can scroll down and find more details below. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, and always remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao.